My name is Joshua, and I am the Tribune. Today we must talk about the plague that is ravaging everybody, including the Christians, which is masturbation. Now, first we have to understand that masturbation is the highest form, one of the highest forms of selfishness. When you are involved in masturbation, you are saying that you want what you want and you're going to get it when you want it. Now, this is the worst way to go and try to have a relationship with God, because He needs His friends to be able to want His agenda, hear His voice for His plans, and execute them how He wants it. Now, in order to do that, you have to have a selfless mentality, knowing that He has the best plans for you that will give you all the satisfaction you could ever imagine, including in that area. Now, in order to really hone in on this, you have to understand that God absolutely is the highest form of all pleasure and satisfaction, because He created all the satisfaction and pleasure in the entire world. He created it, but it has to be done correctly. So the reason why we feel guilty, those people who do feel guilty, who are being called by God in this area, is not because He's waiting to beat you over the head with a stick. That's not what He's doing. What He wants is for you to deal with the root, which is being selfish, which is having your own agenda. Now, the solution to dealing with masturbation is not to I just need to stop and I'm going to make myself. No, you can't do it like that, because you need God. You need God because this is a natural desire. Every human has this desire to satisfy. So what you have to do is you have to go higher. You should be after a higher form of desire, which is His desire for you, which gives you the absolute satisfaction long term. Now, I understand that there also are married people who are doing this also. They think that they could do it because they're married. But to give you an analogy, can you imagine being married and your spouse comes in and finds you doing that on your own? Now, nobody wants to see that. Why? Because they're the real deal. And what you're doing is you're robbing them of the highest form of satisfaction for themselves too. And you're robbing yourself. And you're saying, I'm just going to focus on what I want, and that's it. So what God does is He first, before you're married, expects you to be accountable with Him, just like you would a spouse. Because before you're married, He's preparing you. He's preparing you for a spouse. He's preparing you for His purpose. He's preparing you for things that you are going to have to put yourself aside and do something that doesn't feel comfortable, or not do something that you want to do, because you know He has the highest good for you. So one of the signs that you can see in your life that you need to work on being selfish is if you're dealing with masturbation. So the solution is to dive deeper into God and to get to know Him. Now, as you get to know Him, your relationship becomes stronger, and you get to know His character, and you find out how wonderful He is and how much He has to give you and how much He has to offer and how much He loves you. That as you move forward in that, you don't want to do masturbation anymore. You don't want to be involved in it. Even if the desire comes, you will still think of how much you're sacrificing on the other side if you get cloudy and you can't hear Him. Now, this can only be done with salvation. You have to get to know Jesus Christ and able to do this, because if you know Jesus Christ, then you'll get to know Him as your Father. And you'll get to know Him as a coverer, someone who wants to protect you, someone who knows your best best gifts and wants to help you develop them. Somebody who will talk to you and counsel you. Then from there, you get to know him as a friend. And he calls you his general and his builder. And he will start telling you secrets about what his assignments are for the future. Now, this pleasure that I'm talking about, just in that last sentence, is so powerful that it cannot be compared to a moment of pleasure that you give yourself. This is very important. And I hope this frees people to understand why they feel the way they do. Because if you feel guilty about doing this, it's because God is actually calling you to a deeper level of relationship so he can give you so much more. God is never trying to take something from you. He's trying to give you something. A lot of the times, though, we have to put something else aside to get what's in his hand. And the most beautiful thing about this topic is that God's relationship with you is what frees you from this. Now, something I need to tell you that is really important. If you're going on this journey and you see that, oh wow, I've been doing better and I've been growing with God, and I can see that my relationship is flourishing with God, if you fall into it along the way, don't start beating yourself up and condemning yourself. Because what you'll see is something very special. Before you started growing with God, you didn't really have any conviction about it. You were able to just go and be involved in masturbation and not think too much about it and enjoy it. But as you grow with God and he allows you to fall into it along the way a little bit, and you're trying not to, this isn't an excuse to just go do it just because, God's going to allow me. No. He's allowing you to fall into it, and you will see along the way that it hurts you because he is in you and he has a strong relationship with you. So as you go, you will feel the pain that he feels when you do this. And the reason why you will feel the pain is because he is thinking, oh my goodness, they're going to get clouded. They're going to click. They're not going to be able to hear me because now they're starting to get focused on their own desires. And when you get focused on your own desires, starting within this area, it carries into everything else. It carries into your profession. What should I do in this for my job? And then it carries into, who do I need to pick as a spouse? It carries into, what do I need to do now? And I need to take this into my own hands and do it. And I'm not going to ask God because I'm going to get this thing done. Because I want pleasure right now. I want what I want this very moment. And what God says is, no, you need to get the habit, the daily routine of checking in with me before anything and seeing what I want for you, because you should know that I want the best for you. Nothing you want can compare with what he wants for you, even in this area. The reason why, I'll prove it to you. In this area, you think you're getting so much pleasure right now, but it's actually dulling that area. It's totally watering it down. So that when God gives you something that you would actually fully enjoy, in that area, to the highest level, you cannot enjoy it because you've been doing this so much on the side by yourself. This is proof that he wants higher for you. Now, on the journey, as you're moving forward with God in this, and you see that your insides feel worse and worse about this topic, you should celebrate. Because what that means is that God is working in you and that he's very pleased with you. Do not take the guilty feeling as him being mad at you. That is not true. Take it as he loves you And he's saying, wow, if you can feel my feeling about this situation, then that means you're very close to me and I'm very close to you. This is why you should celebrate. Because people who are not close to God, they don't feel anything about this. And they continue to move in this area, not knowing that they're being robbed. And this affects all other areas. That's why it's important to know Christ. Because you can be freed from things like this. So I want to challenge you. Instead of trying to stop doing it, dig deeper into God. Read the Bible. Watch messages. Listen to God about creativity. Let Him speak to you on things that you actually enjoy. Seek God on other things that you actually appreciate in life. Fixing this problem in the church and opening the conversation to speak about it will help us all step into mighty purpose. Because this is one of the big roots of selfishness and not seeking God's plan. His plan has everything in it. It has all that you could ever imagine, plus more. But in order to get it, you have to put down selfishness and pick up His agenda. Now, I expect Him to come find you with this message. I expect Him to prove that my words are true. Anybody under the sound of my voice that wants to do better in this area, that God has called and you could feel it, that you need to come higher. He will come prove what I'm saying to you. He will start speaking to you in beautiful ways that make you so focused on that you will focus less in the other areas. On top of that, as you move forward in these ways with God, you will be way, way more careful about anything that clouds your hearing. So He will come find you. He will show you these things. I don't expect you to just believe and just stop sitting. No, what I'm saying is He will come find you. He will confirm these things to you, and you will go on the journey. But this conversation must be opened because the enemy wants us all to be plagued and to not get vaccinated. But God will. Hail Jehovah.